The veil is torn, the thinker is no more, only the spirit sees, and all is known. So that is the miracle. The veil is torn, thinker is no more, the spirit sees, all is known. That is the miracle in the case of the tremendous moment, when we have prepared ourselves for that tremendous moment. In other words, we can really see the light of what is going to happen then. We can get the proper guidance then in the future. Then a calm power seated above our brows is seen. Now this is what happens, you see, when that moment has arrived, you see above our brow a calm power. See, he says capital power, the divine power itself coming here. Seated above our brow is seen, unshaken by our thoughts and deeds, a stillness where the voices of the world imbibe. It moves in nature, looks on life. That power. It shapes immutably, is fast in, and again that power. It shapes immutably, is fast in. It is that power now which takes into calculation whatever you've done of what is going to happen later on. Fast in ends. It is that power alone, that power which is seated above our brows. This Ajna Chakra has opened up, the power is entering, and then it can see this drishti has come into operation. It moves, looks on life, it shapes immutably, is fast in and untouched and tranquil amid error and tears of passion and mind, you see, of life and mind, and measureless above our striving will. So error corresponding to mind, tears corresponding to vital, will corresponding to the body actions. Its gaze controls the turbulent world of things. To mate with the glory it sees, the glory which sees above, beyond. So it prepares itself to meet that glory. The spirit grows. The voice of life is tuned to infinite sound. The voice of life is tuned to infinite sound. What a line this one is. Its vibration itself is so powerful, no? See the different lines and suddenly you get a different kind of a expression here. The voice of life is tuned to infinite sound. As if it is coming from one end of infinity, moving, and going to the other end of infinity, you see. The voice of life is tuned to infinite sound. This is what should happen, you see. The moments on great wings of lightning come, and godlike thoughts surprise the mind of earth. So this is the description of what happened in that tremendous moment. This is what is going to happen in that tremendous moment. See. Into the soul's splendor and intensity, a crescent of miraculous birth is tossed, whose horn of mystery flows in a bright void, as into a heaven of strength and silence. Thought is ravished, all this living mortal clay sees, and is a swift and fiery flood of touches shade by harmonies unseen. A new sight comes, new voices in a spawn, a body with a music with a cause. Immortal yearnings without name leap down, large quiverings of Godhead seeking run, and wave upon a fusion field of form a high and lonely ecstasy of will. This in a moment's depths was born in her. So that moment for Savitri, that tremendous moment of Savitri has arrived, and all that the tremendous moment can do, it is in that moment Savitri is newborn. She is no more now old Savitri, human Savitri certainly not. Even Savitri who has done yoga, she is now more than that. That yoga which she has done, that soul's force, that divine force which she has housed in her soul, that soul now has to come into operation, into action. That is the new birth. Yes, it is there. That divine force is there, but now it has to come into action, into play. And it is that which now is bringing a new birth to Savitri's. Divine Savitri in action. That is the new birth of Savitri now here.
Isn't it? Void is imaged as dark, black void, but here the bright void.
Right?
Bright void. Just
This one.
The mystery floats in a bright void.
Yeah. See, I
The void is not black, that's what you mean.
yeah.
Usually void is black and
Void
white
is
now. How come
black.
right,
white?
right, yeah. Now, here, this whole sentence is a marvel of occult poetry. Occult images, occult symbolism, they're all packed in this one particular single sentence. A crescent of miraculous birth. See, that is, in fact, this is what I was going to say also. Into the soul's splendor and intensity, a crescent of miraculous birth. See, Savitri's new birth now is talking about. And that new birth is like a crescent tossed into the sky. What is a crescent? You say, whose horn of mystery flows in a bright void. The whole night sky is bright and the moon's crescent is shining in that.
Void is sky.
Yes. Now, in fact, we'll see some of these things in more detail. This is a very important statement, therefore I quickly ran through, and you can see the combination. In fact, the super surrealist poetry. Super surrealism, you see, basically, if you want to call it that, you see. How the yogic poetry can be so dense in its images and its implications, this is one of the most powerful examples. Into the soul's splendor and intensity, soul's splendor and intensity, that corresponds with bright. In the sky there is nothing else except this one now. The birth will take place there, you see. A crescent of miraculous birth is taught. Now, this is a birth which cannot be accounted, which cannot be even guessed, imagined, impossible. It's a miraculous birth. How it happens? That is the magic of the tremendous moment. How the tremendous moment is going to work, that is not disclosed. Cannot be disclosed also. The whole thing is the magic of tremendous moment. The entire description, all these 10-12 lines, sentences, they are the description of that tremendous moment. You see. In the tremendous moment, our lives change suddenly. He is very generous to include us also in what Savitri is experiencing. But this is meant, our means, basically it means for yogis who had done real good, intense sadhana, tapasya. A crescent. Now, crescent moon and the horn of the moon is a very familiar image in surrealist poetry. It's not uncommon, it's not totally new also, but the way in which Savitri has put here is something different. It brings the occult charge into full action here. If you see surrealism of the early 20th century, you see all those images very common. Surrealism includes crescent moon, you see. Is it true? Now, what is a crescent? Two circles of unequal diameters touching at one point, and the remaining port forms a crescent. There is one circle like that, another circle like this, and the portion between these two, that is the crescent. Now, the crescent can be left-handed, it can be right-handed also. The crescent which is there on Shiva's head is pointing to the right, to our right. Now, I have some discussions about this crescent. In art and symbolism, a crescent is generally the shape produced when a circular disc has a segment of another circle removed from its edge, so that what remains is a shape enclosed by two circular arcs of different diameters which intersect at 2 points, etc., etc. Well, basically this is one circle, this is another circle, and what remains is the crescent. In astronomy, a crescent is the shape of the lit side of the spherical body that appears to be less than half illuminated by the sun, as seen by the viewer. Mathematically, assuming the terminator lies, etc., I will not go into those. I will pass on this discussion to you. The word crescent is derived etymologically from the present participle of the Latin verb crescere, to grow, waxing moon. That is crescent. Thus meaning waxing or increasing, and so was originally applied to the form of the waxing moon, luna crescens. The English word is now commonly used to refer to either the waxing or waning state. From no moon, crescent, full moon. Same way from full moon, crescent, no moon. In the technical language, blazoning used in heraldry, the word increscent refers to the crescent shape which is horn to the left. So increscent, the horn to the left. To the right, decrescent. So Shiva,
Diminishing is the left.
yeah.
Diminishing is the left.
So Shiva's crescent is decrescent.
So the mind is decreasing. Mind, mood is represented by mind. So
No, it is a description. So this is decrescent, this is increscent. Pardon me?
I'm just thinking this is what scientists can do. The
Because
depth
you,
of
the scientists.
the depth of research, I'm just thinking. It's amazing.
And then there are some other descriptions, etc. In the Byzantine Empire, and I
Anna,
will,
who was it? Anna what? Anna Notalis, daughter of the latest lower down.
down.
No, down. Yeah, this one.
Of course, the Islamic the flag crescent is very known.
is it decrescent or increscent?
It is decrescent.
Decrescent also. Same but
No, sorry, it is pointing upward. No, pointing at the right, so decrescent. Yeah.
decrescent.
Like Shiva's on his head. Shiva's crescent is on this side, no? Yeah. No, on this side. On this side, yeah. On this, yeah.
Look at that.
Body is right side.
But as I told you, this crescent moon is a very powerful symbolism in the recent modern poetry. The occult aspect is very rich in it. And Shivandu has the crescent or miraculous birth. It is tossed, the miraculous birth, suddenly. How it happened? The sky. Horn. Whose horn of mystery floats in a bright void. So the whole thing is an empty sky, but bright sky still. Into heaven no strength. Yeah, now of course here symbolically it is connected with what is Savitri is seeing, experiencing. Void. And you see again, the poetry is a very complex poetry in this line. 7 lines, but very complex kind of a thing. It will need one full hour. We will see later on, perhaps. And he says, as if into a haven of strength and silence. The occult aspect is there, the luminous mysticism is there, and at the same time, there is a shift of image from image. See, he talks of horn. Then all this living mortal clay is seized and is swift and fiery flood. See, fiery flood. Harmony. So there is a kind of a combination of so many metaphors coming into one single description. You see. And it is that which makes it richer also. But here, you see most of the line, into a soul's splendor and intensity. This is a practically end-stop line. A crescent of miraculous birth is tossed. Okay. Then, whose horn of mystery flows in a bright void. Yes, there is a pause there. As into a heaven of strength and silence. Pause. Then, thought is ravished. There is enjaba. Line is overflowing. Here, the line is overflowing into this one. And silence, thought is ravished. Suddenly the whole technique has changed, you see. The line in earlier cases it is stopping at the end. But now suddenly the line is overflowing also, you see. Because it is preparing for the fiery flood. See.
What is harmonist means? The meaning harmonist is there.
Yeah. Is ravished. All this living mortal clay is seized and in a swift and fiery flood of touches shaped by a harmonist unseen. So this is the miracle at the tremendous moment performed by the unseen harmonist.
What is harmonist?
Unseen because you don't know.
What is harmonist? The meaning of harmonist.
Harmony. Everything is in relationship, has a concordance, has connection with each other. They are not discordant. All the things are happening.
Is it a harmonium player?
No. The harmonist, he is the player of harmony.
Oh, okay. So it's a player of harmony.
Harmonist, not harmony, harmonist. And you see, it is a capital H, supreme harmonist. Yeah. Everything is in relationship. Everything is kind of worked out in relationship with each other. And because of that, because of that, a new sight comes. Because of that, a new voice arises. Because of that, music of the gods. That harmony is going again with music harmonies, you see. And because of all these things happen, and therefore all these in a moment's depths were born in her. So whatever was happening now in the case of Savitri is because of this unseen harmonist.
Does he talk about the supramental in that sense to give such a big change?
There is a power working behind all what is going to happen there.
But on what level in harmonist?
Supramental, I don't know. Yeah.
Because the cosmic cannot be,
Harmonist means is some supreme power. Yeah. You see, a calm power is related again with that harmonist. And is of course unseen.